G'day guys, and welcome to part 3 of this super exciting series about the gear that we use and wear and all that stuff. If you missed part 1 and 2, I'll put links in the description for that. That was basically just the accessories and mods on our bikes, and also the stuff we carry in our backpacks when we ride. So this video will be all about the GPS mapping software that we use to track rides. And also to redo rides that we've previously tracked or gotten GPX files off other people, as well of course as our GoPro and camera setups. So with regards to the mapping software we use, we have Android phones, so I'm sure there will be similar apps for Apple if any of you guys are Apple gurus and have your iPhones and stuff like that. But the two apps we use are GeoTracker and All-In-One Offline Maps Plus. Now GeoTracker I know is free on Android. I'll put links for these apps in the description as well, guys. But All-In-One Offline Maps Plus I believe costs, I can't remember exactly how much it was. I'll put that up on the screen here if I can find out. I know there is a free version of it as well, the non-plus version, which I'm not sure what limitations it has. So basically if we're going on a ride that we want to track, we'll use GeoTracker. It's a pretty cool app, very easy to use, but its only real downside is it's not easy to use it to redo tracks that you've previously recorded or gotten off other people. So that's why we have to use the Offline Maps Plus app. Rightio guys, I was initially planning on doing a fairly in-depth sort of look at these two apps and how to use them and everything, but just making the video was putting me to sleep, so I was pretty sure nobody would want to sit through it all, so I'm sure you guys will work out how to use it. I'll just basically go into why we use the two apps. So this is the GeoTracker screen. You can choose satellite map or just regular map display, but obviously you're not going to get any maps loading out in the bush if you don't have phone data signal. But all it needs is a GPS signal to record your tracks. So it's very easy to use. You've got a record button, a pause button and a stop button, and what we do is once we've recorded a track, you can actually export it from this software as a GPX file, and you can then share that with your friends or whatever. Or what we do is import it into Offline Maps Plus. Now the biggest reason we use Offline Maps Plus is because I really prefer having a satellite view of my map. Like, I think with the satellite view you get a much better idea of what the terrain's actually going to look like, and you can also see tracks that aren't usually marked on maps. So now the biggest plus with Offline Maps is, obviously as the name implies, you can save areas of maps for offline use. So you can have like a zoomable satellite view of a whole entire area that's cached on your phone, and you don't need to have that mobile phone signal to use it. It still works fine. So we've done that with all our regular riding areas. We've saved the satellite view. But so with Offline Maps Plus, you can actually choose what maps you want to use. So you can use Google Maps, Bing Maps, there's other ones like Esri and various types. So you just go through the menus and that until you find that stuff. And now just be aware that you can't actually save Google Maps for offline use, which is a real pain in the bum. But the one that I'm using at the moment is the Nokia Ovi Maps, which you can cache the satellite view, and it also has all the place names and everything, and a lot of roads for this area. So depending on where you are, certain maps are going to work better for you. So once you figure out how to import your GPX file into Offline Maps, it's pretty easy to use that app to follow the track again. It'll show arrows on your track to show which way that you actually travelled, and also if your phone has an inbuilt compass, it'll show which way you're pointing, so that really makes it easier to follow a saved track sort of thing. You can also create markers to places that you want to revisit, like highlights. If you find a nice hill climb or whatever, just create what they call a waypoint. So it is quite a handy little app to use, and just having those maps available offline is really handy. But yeah, The hardest part for someone who hasn't used these apps before is going to be figuring out how to export and then import those GPX files, but anyway, with a little bit of technical know-how, we'll figure it out pretty quick. Anyway, that's a basic overview of the mapping software that we use. Now we'll just have a quick look at our GoPros and where we mount them, etc. Righto guys, the almighty GoPro. Now we run 2 of the GoPro Hero 7 Black. They're our main action cameras. If you have a GoPro, please don't just run it on the default settings that it comes with out of the box. Go in and change a couple of things. I'll show you the most important ones to change. You don't have to muck around with everything, but these are pretty important and will get you a much better picture. Now we run 1080-60. What resolution you guys run is up to you, but I recommend it a 16:9 widescreen ratio, whether it's 4K, 2K, whatever, but we run 1080-60. We're running Super View at the moment, but turn your Pro Tune on. I don't know if you can see that there, but turn that on, you'll get a higher bit rate, and you'll also get access to your white balance. You can see that there, we have set that to 5000K. That is a pretty good setting for sunny days. It works in pretty much every condition that we've tried it in, and it's just way better than having it set to auto. So definitely do that guys, it's very easy to do. Turn on Pro Tune, set your white balance to 5000. The other one I'd recommend with these particular cameras, change the sharpness to medium, but very importantly, set your microphones to wind. When they're on auto, they don't work really good on the front of a helmet. The wind setting is actually much better. So that's it, that's your GoPro setup. When it comes to the actual mounting of the GoPros, I've done a video on making this chin mount. It's very cheap, $2 eBay J mount, pulled apart with the screws that come with it, filed off on the back and attached to the front of the chin bar here with 4 zip ties. Now there's no need to modify the helmet at all, there's no damage done to the helmet, it's just zip tied on there. It's a pain in the ass to get off, but having that on there permanently is no major drama. It's quite small and lightweight, and it's survived a long time now. It's quite a tough little mount. So basically the way I have it set up is it's just at the perfect right angle if it's jammed back as far as it'll go, so I don't have to worry about trying to adjust it on the go, or if it gets knocked or whatever, just whack it straight back as far as it'll go, and that's at the perfect angle to get the good riding action. So I think keeping all this stuff simple and easy to use out in the bush is really important. So it's easy for me to whip that down and get a battery out to replace it, and again just whack it straight back, and I know it's at the right angle. Okay, now another little mod that I've recently added. This is some self-adhesive Velcro with a hole punched in it for the microphone, so it's a little bit of a wind muff. It seems to be working really well. Haven't had extensive testing yet, but I've done it to both mine and Nat's GoPros. So that's just stuck onto the outside of the skeleton case obviously. I think the other microphone is up here and that's already covered up, so you just need to muffle that one a little bit. Probably also noticed that I have a piece of black plastic stuck over the front GoPro screen. I find that screen is absolutely useless to me. It's more of a worry of a rock hitting it and smashing it. You can obviously replace this glass on the GoPro 7s if it breaks, but if you break that screen behind there, your camera's not going to be waterproof anymore, and I believe you can't replace it, and possibly the camera won't work anymore either. So that's just stuck on there with a bit of silicone. It is removable if I need to, but it's just a bit of extra protection for the camera. Okay, so for the rear facing footage that we sometimes get, I just have a sticky mount stuck here on the back of the helmet. Again, keeping it simple. Just a standard GoPro buckle mount. Now once that's on there, mount it up to the helmet, putting it all the way back as far as it'll go is the perfect angle. I don't know how I managed to work it out this way, but it just worked out that well. It may not look like that's the right angle for getting good shots, but if you think when your head's actually pointing down like that, it does get the good footage. But it's something that you might want to muck around with yourself. So Nat and I both have these sticky pads on the back of our helmet, so we can interchange those cameras as we need to, and it's very quick and simple to do. Last thing I'll mention, guys, is the little Panasonic Handycam that I carry on dry days if it's not raining. I'll bring this along. It's really good for zooming in, getting some close-up shots on those hill climbs where we've stopped and stuff like that. I actually got this really cheap for a good deal on eBay, brand new. It's got a little bit of a foam wind muff at the front there. It doesn't really work very well, but again, it's better than nothing. For the pain that I've put this little Handycam through, it's been through a lot of dust and mud and vibrations, and it's been dropped on the concrete garage floor a number of times. But still works okay. It's starting to lose its focus, usually at the most critical times when I'm trying to get 950 Super Enduros doing a hill climb or something like that. But yeah, I'll replace it pretty soon, I think. Get something a bit better. But you know, generally speaking, we get pretty good footage off these GoPros. 9 times out of 10 they're all we need. So as always, guys, I hope this video has been of interest to somebody out there. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Cheers.